If it's too heavy, you've been in masculine for too long, it's time to switch gears. Step number 2, set it down. Physically move away from it. 3, change your environment. Get yourself into another room with different energy. Hello, prosperity seeker, and welcome to another episode of the Prosperity Approach. I'm your host, Allyson Chavez. I'm always delighted and honored that you're here with me, and of course, looking forward to the topic of today. But before we do that, just a few reminders. If you're listening to the audio version of this episode, be sure that you're following this podcast on your favorite app. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube right now, be sure to click on that red subscribe button below and click on the notification bell, so you'll get notified every time a new video is released. And if you want to see what we're up to, you can head on over to AllysonChavez.com. We've got free meditations you can pick up. We've got a free prosperity guide. We've got wonderful goodies and resources for you to really help your prosperity journey be filled with speed and ease and lots of pleasure. So I want to talk today about 5 simple steps to activate your feminine energy. So one of the questions that I get a lot, not just with how to activate your feminine energy, but also like this whole prosperity approach, is how. So many people will say, yeah, I know all the pieces, but I still don't know how to actually do it and really change my life. And I was one of those tell me how people as well back in the day. And so I really am obsessed with teaching you how and showing you how, so that you're not just frustrated listening to some other talking head that is doing whatever and spouting out all this theory, but there's nothing that you can actually implement. And so we're really going to talk about the 5 steps to activating your feminine energy, so you will actually know how to do it. You know, we have very few female role models that lead out with feminine energy, especially really highly successful women. They are so much in their masculine all the time, and it's not anybody's fault. It's what we were taught. It's how we were taught to create. But these 5 simple steps are going to help you to balance out your feminine and your masculine energy, help you to activate your feminine energy, and then you can lead out in your feminine energy. And it's really important to do that because you are a woman. You're not a man. You're meant to do it differently from a man. You're going to have phenomenal results when you'll trust your divine nature and work with it instead of against it. And you're going to have such a great experience along the way, which is what I have realized for myself is what it's all about. It really is the journey. It's the experience that you must have. So number 1 is awareness. When things start feeling heavy, when you start feeling bogged down, when you're getting irritated and grumpy and you're telling yourself, like you're talking yourself through it, like, okay, we just got to hold on for 10 more minutes. All right, we can do this. And you're looking at your watch like every 42 seconds. That's an indication that you have been in masculine energy too long and you're out of balance. So it's time to switch gears. So the first and most important thing is awareness without any sort of judgment, because you can't change what you're not aware of. All right. So again, awareness. If it starts feeling really heavy and you're slogging through the mud, we got to switch gears. Number 2, set it down. Generally, I have found for me and for the women that I have worked with is we're on a task, we're working on a project. And that's why we can literally set it down. If you're working at the computer, you've been there for too long, or whatever that task is, you need to set it down. You need to move away from it. It's like you set it down and then slowly back away. But that's what you want to do. You've got to set it down. So number 1 is awareness. Number 2 is set it down. Step number 3 is change your environment. You've got to physically remove yourself from the room, because even if you're like, okay, I'm going to switch and I'm going to watch some funny cat videos on YouTube for a minute, you're actually still in the same energy of the big push. And we got to get you out of that vibration. So physically, you need to remove yourself from your office. You got to remove yourself from whatever project you're in, change your physical environment. All right. Number 1 is awareness when it feels heavy. Number 2, set it down. Number 3, change your environment. Move into the bedroom, move outside, go into your car, change the environment. Number 4, so important as a woman. You've got to get back into your body and reconnect with your senses. We've got to get you sensual. Now, many people confuse sensual with sexual, and they also think that sensual and sexual equals pornographic, and neither of those is true. So sensual is just about connecting with your senses. And you've got to get back into your body in order to do that. You've got to get out of your head. All right. You're in all of this mental energy and you're in this push of the masculine. You're being very linear. Remember, that's one of the qualities of the masculine. We've got to get you out of that, and we've actually got to get you more dynamic. And the definition of dynamic is constant change, activity, or progress. All right. So we're changing your environment. We're getting you into your body by connecting you with your senses. So generally what I'll do is to make myself take a deep breath, because when we're stressed, we take very shallow breaths. So I'll just make myself close my eyes and take 3 deep breaths, and then I'll just connect. I'll connect. What am I hearing? What am I feeling? Do I feel the hair on my hair on my neck? What do my clothes feel like? Are my feet cold or are they warm? What am I smelling? Am I smelling anything? Am I tasting anything? I get into my body by connecting with my senses. So this is how you be a woman. This is how you get sensual. You start connecting with your senses. So that's step number 4, get into your body and connect with your senses. And step number 5 is move. You've got to start to move. All right. This is part of being dynamic, which is a feminine quality. Remember, constant change, activity, or progress. Also, the feminine is circular. All right. We want to flow. We want to give our body shape more than just like this straight line. And so I'll turn on some music, and you don't have to turn on music. You can just sway to music in your head, but just start swaying your hips. Run your hands through your hair. Feel your ears. Squeeze your ears down to your earlobes. Move your shoulders back. Back in our aerobic days, when you're stretching, really feel the muscle as it's stretching. Really, like, even start to talk or start to sing, feel the vibration on your throat. You can even just feel your neck and you can feel those vibrations. Then you can get even more connected and feel your vocal cords moving. What's the sensation of swallowing? Like, feel it go down your throat. It sounds a little bit bizarre, but it is such a gorgeous experience. I love to turn on music that makes me feel sensual, that makes me feel like a woman. And so it's more slow moving, but to me, it's very sexy. I will always default to Michael Bublé's Feeling Good. Like, that is just like, it's got that deep beat to it. It's not too fast. And then I will just move. That song, for whatever reason, makes me feel so much like a woman. And I put my hands on my hips and I start swaying my hips, and I'll feel my legs and I'll feel my hair, and I'll want to turn, but let the music dance you. It will dance you. Like, this is really, literally, it might sound a little bit silly, but this really is activating your feminine energy. Let your feminine dance you. Let her dance your body. If you need to close the blinds or shut the door, then do that. But you will find yourself just breaking into this huge smile. You will literally feel your burdens lift off your shoulders. And that's how you know you're feeling lighter. Now you've activated your feminine energy. You can go back to whatever project you're working on with new eyes, with a light energy. Now this is what you're doing. You're leading out with the feminine because you're leading out in pleasure. You just connected with pleasure, which is it's one of the defining qualities of the feminine is pleasure. So now you're leading out in that, and you'll find gaps that you didn't see before. You'll troubleshoot really quickly. You'll find that solution that was eluding you before. It works every time. And I just have to say this, before I recorded this podcast, I was in pushing. I was in masculine. I was irritated. And I was like, oh man, I have got to reactivate my feminine. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm just sharing with you what I did less than 10 minutes ago. It's probably why I look so radiant. I know it's why I look so radiant. And it's because I came alive again. And it's like, okay, I can do life again, and I can do life on my terms. So try this. It is so simple, but it works every time. So remember, one is awareness. If it's too heavy, you've been in masculine for too long, it's time to switch gears. Step number 2, set it down. Physically move away from it. 3, change your environment. Get yourself into another room with different energy. Step number 4, get into your body by reconnecting with your senses. And step number 5, move. Start moving like a woman. Just do that for a few minutes and then just watch what happens. If you have liked this and you're looking for a community, I have created an amazing community for you in the Facebook group. It's called Success Without Struggle. Dynamic, ambitious, driven women who are looking to better their lives, who are looking to lead out with their feminine to see what that really looks like, who are wanting to really step into their empowered feminine leadership. And that's what we're all about there. So go on over to Facebook, do a search for Success Without Struggle, and come join us. I would love to play with you there. And until then, remember, prosperity becomes you.